Hello my friends, welcome back for today's shave, which is brought to us by leftover soap from the last time, which is a mix of all kind of soaps, and we're just going to refresh this. And what we'll do, I'll take my brush, just kind of, because it was laying in the water, so it's just soaked up with a lot of moisture, and we're just gonna stir that into the bowl here so we can see what we got. What that immediately does, it turns it into this unsightly goo in the bottom. And then shortly after that, it starts, here, let me do it like this. I don't want to spread it all over the place because it makes a mess and then I get in trouble. But basically it re-lathers pretty handily. I can put a little bit more water in there. Just dipping the tips of my brush. And pretty much just like that, we have the lather back that we had in there before. And that's pretty good when you're in conservation mode. And now I don't need to be that way because I got a whole cabinet of soap behind me. But it was kind of a neat experiment to have the accumulator, and I'm going to continue to do that. Our razor today is my my Batman razor, my Artist Club SS with a what blade is this? Yeah, it's a Pro Touch, Kai Pro Touch. I forget from time to time what I put in here. This one also was just laying in the drawer and still had the blade in it, so we're gonna just keep going with that. This is the 13th of September, and we're gonna think about more history. This time moving forward from the Revolution a little bit to 1814, which is during the War of 1812. Some call the War of 1812 the Second American Revolution. It is essentially the same players are there in the United States and England, and to some degree Native Americans and western parts of what's the growing United States and France. On today's date, 1812, there was a big cannonade or a bombardment of Fort McHenry, which was the inspiration of our national anthem. And of course that's a big piece of our national identity, or our identity as a country. It's the national anthem. Now, War of 1812 is kind of a strange animal. It really wasn't necessarily the second chapter of the Revolution. There were indeed some unfinished questions about the Revolution, but the 1812 was mostly over British nabbing American sailors at sea and impressing them into the British Navy. Essentially, it's kind of like British wasn't taking us seriously. They didn't see us as a country yet. And so we had that skirmish again. And there wasn't any real clear winner. Where America did indeed make their point that England should ought to be hijacking American sailors. When it was all over, really, it was kind of a, we saw it as a victory. England, well, their real fight was with France. See, at that time they were big rivals, and they did not like one another at all. And there was some of the hard feelings because of how much the French helped the Americans in our revolution. Of course, that's just kind of a back of a napkin, which had come out of the War of 1812. It's kind of interesting, again, how we divide up our history by the wars. Revolutionary War, War of 1812, Spanish-American War, World War II, Korean era, they call it the World War II era, Vietnam era, to a lesser degree, the Gulf era, because I think we're still in it. I think later on that's going to be taught, or this, where we're at now, is going to be I don't know how I feel about that, but just kind of was thinking about that as I was talking to you. A really good shave. I can always count on a great shave out of my SS. It's kind of one that I will always come back to, regardless of what other razors I have. Alum is just fine. No problem there. Aftershave is this green bottle that I don't know what's in it. I suspect, just from a quick whiff off the top, it's leftovers from an experiment I did a long time ago. It's just a green Tabasco bottle that has some kind of juice in it. I'll get it on my face so I can figure out what it is. Oh, it's Old Spice. Okay, yeah. I was experimenting one time. This is an actual Old Spice. This is Family Spice. Family Dollar's Old Spice. And I wanted to see what would happen if I decanted it into glass, if that would improve the scent any. The jury's still out. I haven't really decided. It's a very light Old Spice-like fragrance, and as you know, I like me some Old Spice. But I'm still trying to decide if it was a success or just something to do on a Saturday afternoon, like now. Thank you so much for coming. That's it for today's shave. If you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. Like, share if somebody who might like this. Subscribe if you're so inclined. I'm Major Rich. You find me at theshavingcadre.com, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.